All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, call Allah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, giving all praise to the Most High Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, and the Son, Yahushua. All right, this is Nama with the DC camp.
Yahushua.
And today we're going to go over Isaiah 30, all right, and those rebellious children, talking about the nation of Israel, all right, and it's important today, especially in light of what IUIC just pulled off, all right, so we're going to talk a little bit about that, all right, so let's get in it. Make sure it's running. Yeah, we good. All right. All right, a little rip.
Woe to the rebellious children, said the Most High, that take counsel, but not of me, and that covering with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin.
God. And the thing is, let me read the heading of Isaiah 30, all right, and it says, the prophet threateneth the people for their confidence in Egypt. And I'm sure, at least I hope, for you Akim and the few Akwath that are watching, that you saw that little clip of IUIC going to get the test and everything, all right? And if you haven't already seen the video of what's on those, they're not even Q-tips as you know Q-tips to be, all right? You got to understand this devil, all right? He deals in what's called nanotechnology. You've got little microscopic machines, all right? And there's no other reason to go up that far up your nose to that little barrier, that little porous bone, all right? If you're supposed to wear a mask to keep from spreading something, that means your saliva is infectious. So why do I have to go all the way up by your brain, unless it's a delivery system for something, all right? So it's not a test, they're actually doing something, but people are so trusting in your enemy. Remember, Sirach or Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 10 says what? Never trust your enemy. And our people just, well, it's going to go into it here, but that's the point. All right, so let's get another scripture here. And this is going to be Isaiah 1 and 2, and it says, hear, O heavens, and give care, O earth, for the Most High Yahweh has spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. All right, the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, but Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider. And this goes double for those that profess to know that they're Israelites, but still you're being rebellious. And that brings in 1 Peter 4 and 17. All right, he's why he's going to start at his house first, which is what? Israel. All right, it's got to be done, because now you've got people that, well, their mouths should, they got to be stopped, they got to be shut. All right, so you're a Judas goat. You're leading your people to the slaughter. And for what? Damn shame. Go ahead, I just had to say that.
Yeah, it's another verse containing that. I'm gonna read it. Deuteronomy 20, 29, and 19 right quick. Okay. And it come to pass, when he hears the word of this curse, that he bless himself in his heart, saying, I shall have peace, though I walk in the imagination of my heart, to add drunkenness to thirst. You know, like, you know, they know they know they doing they know they doing evil, but they still saying, you know, I'm good, you know. You know, they still saying like, yeah, I'm good, man, I'm good, you know, I'm trusting Esau, you know, and take the test, and I'm gonna be good. I got money, you know, I got the, you know, what with the 401k,
Yeah,
all that
exactly.
stuff and shit.
Exactly.
I still got that,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm still good, man. You know. I mean, Jake ain't he ain't giving a damn about Jake really. As long as he good, as long as Jake good,
There you go.
that's it. That's what he's saying.
For selfish reasons.
Yeah.
Were you through?
Mm-hmm.
This is Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5. This is basic. That's why it's so easy to get away from it. All right. In effect, you end up tricking yourself. It says, Proverbs 3 and 5, it says, trust in the Most High Yahweh with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. So, with all you've learned throughout the years, it's still coming down to you chose to trust Esau, this devil's science, over the Creator. All right. So, wow, I'm dumbfounded. All right. It's like it's right in front of your eyes. You can't see. I mean, you're so caught up. Things that you're so caught up. This is where pride and conceit comes into play. All right. And you're blinded by it. All right. Which leads many, and I'm one of those, to suspect that you've been bought off. All right. Wow. Uh, keep on going up. I mean,
Okay.
it's like, what can you say at this point?
Okay. Okay. That walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
There you go. You know the history, all right, of what this devil has done and continues to do, all right, and yet you continue to. His science is why we're at the state that we're in now, why the planet is screwed up the way it is. His science. Look what his science says, just one particular item. All right, we're not going to go into medicines just yet. Think of plastic. Think about all the harm just plastic has done. Look at all that crap out there in the Pacific Ocean, the seas in general, but in specific, the Pacific Ocean. You've got the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. I know one of them, I believe there's two. I know one of them is supposed to be the size of the state of Texas. That's how much trash is floating out there in the Pacific Ocean. You can imagine just the amount of death. Who knows what's under that? What's trapped in that? All right. We're talking about plastics, man. It doesn't degrade. All right. Now we can get into John D. Rockefeller and his, uh, what he had to do with modern day medicine, making herbalists and those who are in the natural medicines, which the scriptures say is good. What does he do? He makes it so that they're known as quacks. And just a few years ago, a whole lot of them mysteriously start dying off. These were so-called, well, they were experts in uh, the herbs as far as medicines and things like that. Dr. Sebi was one of them. All right. So this man has turned everything on its ass. He's turned everything upside down. What's bad is, according to him, is good now. All right. What's wicked in his eyes is righteous. This man is he is indeed the adversary. He is Satan in the flesh, incarnate. All right. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Verse. Let's see.
4.
Yep. Okay.
No.
Verse 3.
So like,
okay. Yeah, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion.
Here, precept. This is Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 5. It says, "Thus saith the Most High Yahweh, Cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departeth from the Most High Yahweh." There we go. Point blank, to the point. And that's what you've done. Even though you get up here and you speak as though you're for the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, but your actions speak otherwise. That's it. You're a walking contradiction, in other words.
Okay, like I'm just trying to go to the next point. Okay, for his prince were at, for his prince was at,
Zoan.
yeah, for his prince was at Zoan, and his ambassador came to hang. I think Zoan was a place in Egypt, old Egypt, when in the back in the old back in the time of Moses, there was a city called Zoan.
This is Isaiah chapter 19 and 11. It says, "Surely the princes of Zoan are fools. The counsel of the wise counsels of Pharaoh," so that would be Egypt, "is become brutish. How say ye unto Pharaoh, I am the son of the wise, the son of ancient kings." All right, so these so-called leaders amongst our enemies, why are you putting so much faith in them? That's why we're here in Isaiah 30th chapter. There's you're trusting in your enemy. All right, you're going to find out the hard way. A lot of our people are going to just. I'm trying to think of a quote. If you remember the movie Hannibal, the character that is that great actor. He was born in England. I can't think of his name right now, but he played that pedophile, very rich. What was his name? He was all messed up in the wheelchair, and he was a pedophile amongst other things. But he made a quote when he was talking to the FBI agent, and he was like, he made a quote about what was it? Was it a chicken or something when they cry for help and the fox comes a running? He said, but not necessarily to help. And that's the point. You never learn that, first of all, that you haven't, I'm talking about our people now, that this is your enemy. He hates you. He always will. He wants to kill you. So by all appearance, he made all these programs that are set up supposedly to help us, they actually hurt us. All right? He wants to eliminate us. This is all about that birthright that he wants back, that he's never going to get back. So what do you think he's going to resort to? All right? This is all set up to lead us to the slaughter. All right? That's all I can say.
They were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them, nor be an help, nor profit, but a shame, and also a reproach. Like now, they got to pay. They out of job. A lot of people they out of a job. The level. Let me see. The unemployment. 11 million people. Right here they say 11 million out of work. 11 million American out of, and the unemployment going March that's when the unemployment gonna expire, and stuff. Now Jake don't know what to do, now he don't know what, he don't know what to do, and the economy, whole economy from the coronavirus is $54 billion in debt,
Yeah, that's the downside of this is what they're really going to eventually do. This is all going towards crashing the economy because the system as you know it, it leaves, there's not enough control there. They want to be in control of every aspect, all right, of your life. So all these things are coming together, not only for the money, but with whatever they're shooting people up with. All right, this is preparing you for the chip. All right, and they're gonna know everything, your vitals, everything. This man wants to be the Most High. All right, how many times do we have to stress that? If you're not to the point where you're not seeing this, then something's wrong with you. All right, your eyes are not being opened. This is Lamentations 4:17. It says, "As for us, our eyes as yet fail for our vain help. In our watching we have watched for a nation that could not save us." And it goes down, and Salakia. This is Lamentations chapter 4, verse 17. It says, "As for us, our eyes as yet fail for our vain help. In our watching we have watched for a nation that could not save us." And down here in the explanation it says, "For the Egyptians, who were the pretended allies, but who were neither able nor willing to help them." All right. Further proof, what we've been saying all along. This system is not set up to restore us. It's to do the opposite. Psalms 83. All right. All these people have been confederate, all right, allies against us, all right, and keeping us from becoming a nation, as that scripture, that chapter goes into. Not knowing who we are, first of all, is power in that. So much power in that. That's why these people are freaking out now. Revelation 11th chapter, verses 7 and 8. You know, standing up on our feet, and these nations' knees are knocking, you know, out of fear. That's what's going on. That's why this is so powerful. Ezekiel 37th chapter is happening now, bringing the northern and southern kingdoms together again. All right, go ahead, Al.
Okay. The burden of the beasts of the south into the land of trouble, and the anguish from where comes the young and the old lion, the viper and the fiery flying serpent. They will carry their riches upon the shoulders of young asses, and their treasures upon bunches of camels, to a people that shall not profit them. They did it in the old time, and they doing it now. See, you know, they do it. Always, you know, paying their tax money to the white man to get a brand new car and all that. This what mattered to them, you know. Nothing else.
You got to remember that also we're still under curses, and that's one of the first ones when you go into Deuteronomy 28 and after 15, read verse 16. You know, we would not profit, no matter. Well, that one says no matter where we go, the curse is going to follow. Whether you be cursed be ye in the city, cursed be ye in the field. All right, which is anywhere. And then it goes into your store and all that. You know, if you ever made bread, you know, nothing you do is going to profit. That's what that's going into. But also, this is for this particular verse. It says into the land. It says the loweth renders through a land of distress and difficulty, which this is. The same deserts are here spoken of, which the Israelites passed through. All right. So you got both literal and figurative meaning to most of these scriptures. All right, and that's what you gotta, you know, in a spirit, you got a physical and a spiritual sense. All right. Go ahead,
Okay. Okay. For the Egyptian shall help in vain, and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this. This strength is to sit still. It ain't going nowhere.
No.
You know. this help in vain is no good, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Now go write it before them in a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever. It's saying it's going to continue. You know, it's going to continue to happen
Yeah.
until the end. You know.
Yeah. Let me read 7 again. It says, this is Isaiah chapter 30, verse 7. It says, for the Egyptians shall help in vain and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this. All right. Their strength is to sit still. And this is Psalms 118 and 8. It is better to trust in the Most High Yahweh than to put confidence in man. All right. Again, this is something that our people are so accustomed here because, well, I'm not going to spoil it. It's going to get to that here, but this is verse 9, Psalms 118. It says, it is better to trust in the Most High Yahweh than to put confidence in princes. All right. And again, further, whoa, when Daniel 9 and 12, let me get it real quick. When you understand that verse, then you understand that all the games that have been played on our people don't compare to any other. All right. Our people have been so focused on the Emancipation Proclamation um, and chattel slavery. They don't understand to the extent the mental aspect of it, which dwarfs that. Trust me. This is Daniel 9, verse 12. It says, and he hath confirmed his words which he spoke against us and against our judges that judged us by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven hath not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem. Think of all the things that have happened after the so-called Civil War. All right, they never got over the point of I found out recently that Lincoln had tried to get a lot of our people to agree to take $100. You would get this $100 if you would agree to leave the country. Now, what were these people supposed to do? Where were they supposed to go? All right, they. I mean, wow. That's my point in saying what I said. There's so much dirt that's still coming out as to what actually happened and how sinister it really was. All right, it will cause your head to spin. So our people have been, and it's because of the school system, and it was done on purpose. All right, you are so and ill-informed about what actually happened, and they do that to try to, I guess, control our anger to some extent. Because of a lot of people, I believe it was a cartoon. What was that? Was it Black Dynamite? Where that was addressed? Where it came out with, I think it was Michael Jai White. It was funny shit. If you know, check that out. It was an episode where they had, what was it, the race wars or some shit? Anyway, which it was a real, literal race war. And, you put humor to it, but that's the thing. These people have manipulated and retarded our progress at every turn. All right, and they expect you to be, uh, I don't know, I want to say equal. We shouldn't. That's another thing that screwed us up. All right, talking about equality, but that's a whole other thing. But Jim Crow, all these piece of crap amendments that aren't worth the paper they're written on. Um, like I said, Jim Crow, segregation, all this, they put it in your face. They let you know how they really feel. But here our people are, please, we just want to be equal because we've been beaten down so much. All right. Uh, wow. That's why I read Daniel 9 and 12. All right. Boy, those curses, I tell you, they are indeed an identifier as to who is who. Go ahead,
Okay. Verse 9. That this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of the Most High, which say to the Syrian, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right thing, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceit.
These churches, these people. In fact, let me read you something. This is a book. It's two of these. Dr. Claude Anderson. It's called Dirty Little Secrets. All right, about Black history, its heroes, and other troublemakers. All right. And page 6, it tells you what these churches were set up for. All right. And you get these, I want you to read it. Right here, it says what? It's about control. All right. You got to remember, this is your enemy's, this is your enemy's take on what is yours. Right? And our people, that's why they're so confused now. But just read a little bit of it. It says, first ministers were licensed to control. It says the American War for Independence gave blacks, both free and enslaved, cause to express their interest in religious freedom. But fearing blacks would use the Bible to seek freedom, education, or black unity, whites applied strict limits to black religious services. While a few blacks, mostly house as opposed to field slaves, were allowed to attend services with whites, they were required to sit in separate all-black sections. Once white slave owners realized that religion could serve as an excellent mechanism to control slaves, they allowed field blacks to attend services as long as they were accompanied by a white overseer. Because owners did not want black field hands in their own churches, they built modest chapels for them on their plantations. By the latter part of the 18th century, whites in many slave states decided to allow blacks to build their own churches and conduct their own religious services. This change of heart may have been motivated in part by a sincere desire to encourage the Christianizing of blacks. Here it is, the heathen of heathens, all right, trying to save somebody, all right. But I'm gonna skip on down. It says dominant white society controlled black religion, its ministers and churches. Catechisms, and that's in that Roman Catholic stuff, for religious instruction of slaves commonly bore such passages as, question, who gave you a master and a mistress? Answer, God gave them to me. Question, who says that you must obey them? Answer, God says I must. So they use these scriptures, your book, to control you. That came out in, what was it, 2017? The Nat Turner movie, Nate Parker. All right. It says a black congregation had the potential of being a source of unrest, so slave owners allowed only the most pliable, all right, compromising and controllable blacks to become licensed as the ministerial head of black congregations. Again, it's for control. The licensed by whom? A license. What is a license? It says the licensed black ministers were expected to encourage their fellow blacks to be meek, obedient, and accepting of whites as masters. In this arrangement, blacks were to remain loyal to whites, and worldly gratification was postponed until after death. The licensed black preachers were supposed to defer to secular authorities on political matters and avoid comments on the injustices blacks suffered. Since blacks could not develop businesses nor enter the professional ranks, the ministry became a business as well as a job. Black ministers began cropping up across the nation. Unlike in white communities, they became instant leaders. Popularity, respect, and income security came with the position. And that's what it's always been about. All right. Now you know where the prosperity doctrine came. And it's still encouraged. Because you're not learning the truth there. It's all about the status quo. All right. And this is the last of it. It says there were no educational requirements, only a social obligation to support the status quo between the races. That's all it ever was about. All right. Point blank, period.
Mm, okay. Get you out of the way. Turn aside out of the path. Cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Wherefore, thus says the Holy One of Israel, because you despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon. You mean they won't change, you know.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Therefore, this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, who breaking comes suddenly at an instant. It'll just be like boom, you know,
Mm-hmm.
when all the shit fall, you know. He shall break it as breaking of the potter's vessel that is broken in pieces. He shall not spare, so that there shall not be found in the bursting of it a surge to take fire from the hearts, or to take water whipple out of the pit. But thus says the Most High, the Holy One of Israel, in returning and rest you shall be saved. In quietness and in company shall your strength, and you will not. But you said, no, but we will flee upon horses. Therefore you therefore shall you flee, and we will ride upon the swift. There shall they that pursue you be swift.
Mm-hmm.
1,000 shall
It
flee.
says 16.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I meant to say 17, so like 1,000 shall flee at the rebuke of one, and at the rebuke of five shall you flee, till you be left as a beacon upon top of a mountain, as an ensign on a hill. That's what's gonna happen, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like that. Yeah.
And this is a thing, let me get Isaiah, because a lot of our people, um, because of fear, raw, naked fear, all right, uh, that's why they look at this devil, all right, and he has become their God. This is Isaiah 31:1. It says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Most High Yahweh. All right. You got to remember, when you go back in history, the Most High has always taken a few, all right, to just outright do away with the many and mighty. All right. There's so many examples in the scriptures of that. All right. This is verse 3 in Isaiah 31. It says, now the Egyptians are men and not God, and their horses flesh and not spirit. When the Most High Yahweh shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is helped shall fall down, and they all shall fail together. So it's already written, it's already assured. All right, what's going to go down here? This man is being set up for the greatest fall ever. It's going to trump what happened in ancient Egypt. All right, this new Egypt, this Babylon, the daughter of Babylon. All right, this is going to be the new high holy day. What's going to come? What's going to go down on with this devil here? All right, it's going to far eclipse ancient Egypt in scope. So that's what we aspire to. That's why we're out here on the highways and byways. All right, trying to get our people as many as the Most High wants to wake up, because this is all. This is Him. All right. That's what we're out there for. All right. This is how we persuade men. All right. That's all I had to say. Anything? Any comments or?
Uh, I mean, that's the truth. And Jake, I mean, Jake just won't wake up, man. He just ain't gonna wake up.
No, because as we've been reading, the simple fact of the matter is, the majority of our people, and this is why the 2/3 have got to go, because they can't see past America. They're so entwined, intermingled, however you want to put it, and depend on the system so much, they cannot. They just cannot. I mean, they might have a seizure. They just can't see anything past America. And a lot of them, of course, they're going to deny it. That's the whole point of the matter. You are totally oblivious to how dependent you are on America. Wait till this collapses. In some respects, yeah, it's going to be funny, but oh man. And that's why we at this point are being conditioned for what's to come. Oh, it's going to be sad. It's going to, oh, wow, the things that you're going to see. How pitiful people are really going to. I mean, when that scripture talks about, oh my goodness. In fact, let me get it. Uh, Going into second Ezra's here. Second, and I close on this. This is second Ezra chapter 15, verse 14. I mean, this is something to really consider. It says, woe to the world and them that dwelt therein. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the cities shall be troubled, and houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Here's the point. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of a lack of bread and for great tribulations. All right. And you're starting to see that now. Also, Isaiah 19. All right. And 2, Egyptian fighting against the Egyptian. All right. All this is, whoa. Matthew 24th chapter. Okay. Things, Luke 21. Things are shaping up to be, hey, best thing I can, movie wise, is all those, oh crap. Mm, 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 mm. Uh, I can't even call it a movie now. Everything's so jumbled up. But I think the last one was election year. Uh, oh, what's the name of the movies? Where they had, uh, you had one day of the year all crime was legal. I can't believe I can't believe I forgot the name of the movies. I think it's 3 or 4 of them. But yeah, that's coming to, I mean, just total anarchy. All right, total anarchy. Anything goes. All right. So with that, I mean, unless you had something up, I didn't mean to, you know, go on a rant, but hey, this is what's to come. That's what we're trying to warn everybody about. But nobody wants to listen. They want to listen to that crap in these churches, these whorehouses they call churches. All right, which I just read out of this book here, what they were truly set up for. All right, so with that, call Allah Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakar double honors once again to the apostles and elders, great millstone. All right, through the Holy Spirit, continue to teach us His truth and give us His wisdom. All right, so with that, hey, shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.